Hey guys, it's Alexis, Sophia Leather, and this is part 3 of building a Firefighter Suspenders, no edit, in real time. Make sure you watch part 1 and 2, and in the description below and in pin first comments, you're gonna have blueprints and blueprints you can download to show you this is no edit, I'm committed. There's gonna be blueprints you could download, blueprints for this suspender, Firefighter Suspenders, all right? And build along video. Part 1, we cut everything out. Part 2, we painted, and this is part 3, filmed the same day, but piecemealing it out to you guys. So we painted the last, we left off painting what it painted. Wow, I can't speak, I need coffee. What we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna go ahead and glue everything, and while it's drying, we're gonna cut everything else out, all the little attachment pieces, and that's it. So let's go ahead and glue this. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm actually not good videographer. Let me double check again. Okay, that works. Okay, so what's gonna get glued are these main pieces here, the shoulder pieces and the back piece. We have to skive that back piece just a touch, okay? Because, let me get my pencil. There's a section where the D-ring goes through. All right, the D-ring is gonna come through here, and I wanna skive that down a little bit so it's not too bulky when I glue it. So I just mark it this way, where I'm gonna skive down just a touch. All right, I'll show you here in a second. I don't need this pencil anymore. So I just mark it where I'm gonna skive down, okay? And we're gonna take her to the skiver, which is right over there. And we're just gonna skive her down. All right, you guys get to see that little skive job. All right, I know you guys are gonna ask, this is a heritage skiver from Weaver Leather. It's their brand, their master tools, and I love this. There's 2 versions. There's an economy version, which is a cheaper one. This is the more expensive one. This has some extra features like this stop here. I believe the other one has a stop. Anyway, this one's a lot nicer, and yeah, that's it. So that's where I got it, Weaver Leather. Hopefully they'll sponsor me at some point. Maybe I should ask them. All right, anyway, so I'm gonna take it up to that line, and ooh, I almost forgot. Now this little stop right here actually will stop this as you're skiving, but as you can see, if you hit it hard enough, it'll slide. So I'm not a really big fan of that. So I put whatever thickness I want it to end up at. I'll leave this leather in there. I'll bring the stop up to it. I'll go ahead and cinch down that thumb screw, but I'll leave that piece in there because this technically is now my stop. So I have a safeguard there. Breakfast. I like continuous. Oh, I got breakfast on the table. So here, boom. And I'm gonna do the other one. Oh, I got breakfast, y'all. I'm gonna have to do, let me show you. I skived this like this. I'm gonna stop this, eat breakfast with the family, and I'll come back. So this is technically still no edit. I'm just gonna hit the pause button. All right, so stand by. Don't yell at me. All right, so I had delicious breakfast. Let me grab these. That was amazing. But now we're gonna start gluing these 4 pieces. Now, what I do on my suspenders, I don't do this for my radio straps because the radio straps don't really bear that much weight, just the actual radio itself. But the suspenders are holding up your bunker pants and anything you have in your pockets. And if you're anything like me, I used to carry a whole bunch of tools and battery cutters and wire cutters and Allen keys and crescent wrenches and everything else in my pocket. So I was a little bit heavy, but I had everything there at my disposal. So these need to be able to hold up quite a bit of weight. So I reinforce these, okay? Now, like I said, you guys don't see this, but in part 2, I painted this, right? I painted this in part 2, and you're seeing part 3 later on, but in reality, I actually painted this 10 minutes ago. So this is ready to go. I can start messing. I can turn it around. It's not gonna scratch it. And if anything, you could just touch it up later with that paint pen. Not a big deal. But I always, if I'm gonna start gluing, I carry these cork boards around, and 2 is suffice. All right. Let me get this out of the way. I don't need this bad boy right now. But that cork board, Amazon, I don't know exactly where. It's just cork board. It's really good for gluing because after a while the glue dries and it just gets hard. And 1 for suspenders is good, but you need 2 for a radial strap, the length of the radial strap. So we're just gonna do 1. We're gonna lay this out and let me show you how I glue, okay? Now this material, this is just polyester ribbon, not polyester webbing. Webbing is too thick. I'm sure you can probably do it, but this is just polyester ribbon, all right? And this is 3/4 inches wide or 5/8, something like that. And what I'm gonna do is cut little strips out, you know, maybe 1 inch short from each end, and I'm gonna glue that in the back pieces first, okay? That's what I'm gonna do first. So I'm gonna cut these out and just measure this up like this. Oh, these scissors are the worst. I grabbed the wrong scissors. See, that's long enough, all right? You want it like 1 inch from the ends each. I'm not gonna glue it just yet because I have to mark the backing material. Now this is just, like I said, polyester webbing. Is gonna prevent the stretching of this leather and the warping. I mean, you're gonna get some of that, but this will help mitigate some of that. Seen guys use just leather. You can put another piece of leather in here, a thinner piece, but you want to add some strength to this because this is really gonna bear a lot of weight. So these are all, this ribbon is pre-cut, ready to go to glue. So I'm just gonna take these off and I'll show you what I do next. I gotta cut actually I'm gonna leave these out because I'm gonna need them. I'm gonna put this away. I like cleaning as I go because if not, it gets a mess. So this is the backing material, and we just have to find, we need enough backing material. And where is my pencil? Now I'm gonna have 2 of these, right? So I could just use the same one. They're actually the same length. So what I do is I just take a pencil and I just mark around. And this is rough. What I'm doing here is I'm marking where I need to glue, all right? See that? I want to avoid this guy right here. See that mess? See that? It's all scarred up. So I'm just gonna cut that out. I don't need that. I don't want that. I want to make sure that I'm not using that. So that's enough for that one. Actually, I don't need this either. What I do is I cut off, I leave like 1 inch, you know, on each end so I can glue and glue past the line. But I need another one. This looks like it's enough, right? This is garbage. And it is, see that? And we're simply gonna do the same thing. You don't have to be perfect or super precise right here, okay? And I'm marking on the flesh side. Not the grain, not the top, but the flesh side. So now I have those 2 ready to glue and the associated polyester webbing pieces. Now we need to mark for these 2. I always look at the outside to make sure there's nothing that looks this really terribly scarred or marked or anything like that. So I'm just looking to see, and I can use this end. Same thing like before, there's gonna be 2 of these as well. And I just double check, that's gonna be good. I'll cut off right here and we'll see if we can find another spot. So this is good. And I'm thinking over here, I want to avoid that hole. I want to avoid this hole. And I want to avoid that mark right there. So on top, that's going to be too close. Will this squeeze? Oh, I can squeeze some right here. Look at that. That's going to be perfect. I'm going to go ahead and mark it with the pencil though. So I know that these two are, I'm not going to be able to use these, so I'm going to toss these. Maybe for keychains or something. But that is garbaggio. So all we have to do now is mark this. And this is a little bit tighter. I typically pre-cut these straps 2 inches. Because you wanna have a little overlap so that you can get the glue completely over that line. Okay. So there you go. We are all set up to glue. But the first thing to do, and this is trial and error, is that you want to glue these polyester webbings first on there. You want to do that first. Okay. So I have all my webbing here ready to go. And this is simple. You just want to tack it on there, nothing crazy. And here's another hint. I always get these as flat as possible. You don't want the curls to come up, the ends to curl up. So I get these down as flat as possible. Let me change the camera angle. What am I doing, dude? This is my first day ever on a job or what? Yeah. So I want to get these as flat as possible. So when I'm gluing, it's not a big deal. The glue that I use, I went over this before, but it's Weldwood contact cement. I'll show you a little video. That's not video, but I'll show you the actual cement that I use. Now, barge cement is the ultimate best, but it's like 4 times the cost of this, and this works just fine. Make sure you're in a ventilated area. I'm in my garage. Garage doors open. I should have the fan on, but I don't, because I just don't. It's gonna be too loud. It's a little bit cold. 75 degrees, that's not cold. What am I thinking? Let me bring this over here. Maybe I get a more accurate reading with that right there. Yeah, let me show you what it says. I don't know if that's really accurate. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is struggle to get this up. Okay. And all I want is just a little thin line. I just want to hold it on there. Can you see that? What I want to do is simply just get a little line just to tack it on. All right, nothing crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and just do this on all of them. And you could go ahead and put these polyester webbings on there while it's still wet. You'll see why in a second. But all I am doing is putting this little thin glue. It don't have to be perfect. That's it. And look at here. You just want to tack it on there like that. Nothing crazy. All right? Don't get crazy on me. You just want to hold it in place, guys. That's all you're doing. You could use that double-sided tape, I guess, but that's unnecessary because I'm going to glue anyway, and I have the pot right here. And that other stuff, that double-sided tape stuff, I never had any luck with it. I forgot what they call it. Baler's tape or something like that. Not baler's tape. I have it somewhere. Where'd it go? I kind of want to show you what I'm talking about. But yeah, this tape right here. Seamstress tape, baler's tape. It's like a double-sided tape a lot of guys use. You see quarter leather using this. And it's just, I don't have that much luck with it. You know, it takes longer to use this than just glue a little bit and just be a little careful where you're gluing, you know? If you got good glue technique, then you don't have to worry about it. All right, so this doesn't take any glue or anything. That's just the buckle end. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get my tools that I need to glue. this little roller thingamabob. That's an Amazon job, special job. They work really great. Just a regular, this is C.S. Osborne number 65. Cobbler's little hammer, a little flat face there. Nothing special. And of course, this is a secret right here. You guys seen me use this before, and it is not here. Oh, it's over here. I moved stuff around. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit. And I still can't find it. All right. Well. Oh, it's right here. I got to get used to my new little setup. And this guy. I still don't know if it's called a bone folder or bone file. But this is an Amazon special too. This is a hard piece of plastic. And you'll see why I use this in a second. But now we're gonna glue here. And I have my main piece here, and the backing piece is going to be over here. And let's just glue, and I'll show you how to do it. I always start an inch or two below, and then I go up. You want to avoid getting on the sides of the leather. Like on the side where you're going to burnish. Although sometimes you can't help that. But a little bit goes a long way. You want to overlap a little bit, but you don't want to go back where you just came from. You want to overlap just a little bit. But you don't have to put so much glue on there. I mean, this is it. You see it. See, I got some glue on the edge, not too much. We can sand that off later on. See, and I'm going right on top of this material. It'll dry in no time. I think I missed a little spot right here. Yep, I sure did, right there. And then now, on this back piece, you want to make sure that you go over that line. You don't want to go up to the line. You want to go over the line. What that's going to give you is a little wiggle room when you place this on the strap. It's going to give you a little bit of wiggle room. All right, as you can see, it's still kind of wet. It's wet looking. All right, you can see that it's a little bit wet looking. I'm gonna wait till this dries to the touch where it almost looks dry. That's when it's ready to go. You don't wanna put this on right now because it's still gonna wanna move around on you. It's not gonna cure the right way. I'm gonna go ahead and put this fan on real quick. Give me a second, I gotta run to the truck, but I don't know if you can still hear me. I have the wireless mic all the way over here. If you can hear me, if you can still hear me, I just want you to know that I hate you and I want to punch you in the face. Okay? But if you're still hearing me, what I just said previously about punching in the face is a lie. I actually love you. Okay. I would say maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know if you can see the glue drying a little bit. This is great content, right? Watching glue dry. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you a little bit where it's starting to change a little color. See, it's starting to get a little dry looking. The shine is coming off. Once that shine starts disappearing, that's when you want to start gluing. And you can kind of touch it and it gets a little tacky. I can't really explain when it's a good time. You just got to look at it. And kind of, when you look at it in an angle like this, you can kind of see the higher spots where it's still wet. And you just got to wait till that settles and goes away before you connect this. Like I said, 5 minutes, 3 minutes. depending on the humidity and the humidity for the most part in the room that you're working in, that's going to dictate how fast something cures or dries. And I think right now I'm at 38% in the shop. So I don't know what that means really. I just eyeball it, I'm being honest with you. I'll just try to sound smart just now, but what really works is that fan blowing over. It's gonna help dry that. Almost there, y'all. This is great content. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching glue dry with me. I appreciate you. Jeffrey Joseph, this is for you. All right, we're almost there. We got 4 more of these to do. This is gonna be a little longer video, guys. I apologize. But I gotta commit to the real time. Now, let me show you how I assemble this. I put it right at the tip there. I'm gonna follow the marks that I made. But if you're off a little bit, don't worry. That's why I use this 2-inch backing piece. And I'm gonna push down on the edges out here. And I use my right hand to kind of maneuver where I want this to land. And there she goes. Before I do anything else, I get rid of any kind of glue that's settling right there. I move this out of the way. And I have this space to work right here. I flip it. I'm gonna go from the middle out, just in case there's any bubbles. I take this guy right here. Not too hard, but just nice even pressure, right? Boom. Take this guy, and this is the key, the secret. You see it right now, as it is. Most guys would call that done, but this is what I do. I make sure I define those edges. And you'll see here in a second. I'm defining those edges on that leather, and I want that glue to really sit on those edges really good. And then I come back around with this little hammer, especially the tips, and then just little taps on the edges. I don't know if this is doing anything. I know it makes me feel better about it. And I've been doing it like this for so long. Could be wrong, but whatever. Then I get rid of any glue there. And I want you to see the edges, how it's kind of defining those edges. Can you see that a little bit? I don't know if you can or not, but whatever. So this is done. I'm going to put it on this table. I'm putting it on the table there, out of the way. And we're going to work and do the same thing again. Okay. Before I do anything, I want to make sure this lays as flat as possible. So I'm going to work this leather a little bit till it lays flat. And this is why I like this cork board, because whatever glue I had on here, it's already dry and it's not gonna mark this leather. I guess I'll leave that fan on, commit it now. Now the last 2 pieces, I can do at the same time. Because it's a short run. I probably could do all of them right now, but I typically do 1 strap at a time like this. Although, if I was smart, I can probably glue this piece, and as I was waiting, I could have glued the other main strap. That's what I should have done, guys. But I like working with 1 cork board at a time. And truth be told, I can kind of focus on this one instead of trying to rush, you know? Because you don't want to put too much glue on the edges where you have to burnish. So I'd rather eat those 10 minutes of savings. It's worth it to me to save that time. Not save it, but use that time to just focus on 1 little strap at a time. How much time? Oh, I got 8 minutes left on this recording. So what we'll do for this video, guys, is that we'll glue this piece and the other last piece. We'll call it video 3. I'm gonna go ahead and film part 4 today too. I need to get this done. And of course I'll piecemeal that out to you guys. Maybe like 1 video a week or something, you know? I have a tendency of making a video and then just putting it out there. I ought to start in 2022. I'm gonna let that sit and then we're gonna chit chat for a little bit about shop stuff. But I think I should probably pay more attention to my YouTube channel as far as providing content every week at a given time to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys know the word I'm looking for. Consistent. There you go. So if I tell you guys, hey guys, video every Friday at 6 p.m. I'm doing that now with this channel. And I'm committed to Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. real estate videos. I ought to do that on this channel as well. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. The problem is, I'm gonna shoot straight with you. This is still drying, so we could talk a little bit. Is that I'm basically tapped out as far as content. I can only regurgitate so much because I basically have a build video on everything I build in the shop, templates on everything that I sell in the shop. You can only see Firefighter leather so many times. So I don't know. It might just be what I got going on in the week, and I'll just film no edit videos like this. Hey, this is what I'm building. And to be honest with you, I switch sometimes. I change, I paint edges, then I stop painting edges for a while. I use beeswax on the edges, and then I stop doing that, and then I start using acrylic resin. So I bounce back and forth. Maybe just having you guys be part of that, and you could see what new techniques that I'm doing or implementing, stuff I learned from other YouTubers and other crafters. Yeah, I don't know. This is where I'm rambling, you know, but we're watching glue dry. I'd rather talk instead of watching glue dry. All right, I think we're ready to go. All right, I want to go a little close up on this one just to show you what I'm talking about. I got 6 minutes before this thing is done. You see that tip? You see how it's still a little wet? I want to wait till that part, that shiny part, gets like this dull part. You see how it's tacky and it's picking up with my finger? You don't want it to slide around. If it's that wet and it's sliding around your finger, it's no good. You want it to touch and lift up, not slide around that tacky stuff. But I would call that ready to go. Same thing with the main strap. But I'm going to show you how I actually do it. With this view, you might lose the back end, but see how I go ahead and start right there. And then I walk it on the outsides. I don't push down in the middle. I don't know why. It's not wrong or right to do that, but it's just, you can either walk it like this or slide your finger. And then my right hand, you can't see it. Let me change the camera angle. My right hand is what's walking. My right hand is what's placing it as far as the location. Left hand's just holding it down. Right hand is putting it where it needs to go. I do love that color though. That burgundy. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I do. Super clean. Now, like anything, I'll make sure there's no glue on top. Flip it around, middle out, roller. Do this. Just define those edges. I always check to make sure there's no glue on top. That's it. I'm gonna set it on this table over here to dry. And I've actually stitched these an hour or two after I glued them. And let me stop this for a second because I have 3 minutes left on this card. Change SD cards. And then we're gonna go ahead and we'll do this, we'll treat this as one, and then we're done. So hold on. All right, so we are back. We are back. Okay, we're gonna treat this as one, same thing. Make sure these are not super bowed up. It's easier to glue as well as place it. Although I'm gonna treat this as one, what I am gonna do is glue this one, then that, then this one, then this one. This way, when this dries up, I can attach it, and then when that dries up, I can attach that one. Now I'll go to this, I gotta tilt this a little bit. Oh, I went heavy on this one. You see that? That was a mistake. All right, now let's work on this guy over here. That one's gonna take a little longer to dry because I put too much over there. I'm done with the glue here. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna put this back away. Alrighty, now, what else? Let me get some water. Yeah, we'll do a little quick 2-minute conversation real quick. I'm gonna explain something. Over there on that table, I have the other two drying, right? These other two over here, these are drying. Once I glue this, I attach it. I'm gonna set it over there and let it dry. Now, I would say if you're in a rush, depending on if your glue's set or not, I've actually glued this within an hour or two, stitched it within an hour or two of drying. But this is the reason why I always glue first. I don't worry about all the other smaller pieces. The reason why is because as it's drying like that, you can get everything else sorted out. So while that's drying, this will probably be the next part, part 4. What we're gonna do is, while that's drying, we're gonna go ahead and click out or cut out with the other pieces that we need. The belt keepers, the attachment rings, the attachment to the actual pants themselves. What else? Yeah, we're gonna cut everything out, and we're gonna set that Cobra Class 4 with the thread that is required for this project, which I think is natural, a natural color stitch he wants on this. So we can cut everything out and get the machine ready to go. By the time we do all that, if you still have time, you can actually go ahead and burnish, bevel and burnish all the other pieces. And then you're ready to rock and roll. You just gotta trim those pieces there, stitch it, everything else is beveled and burnished, and all you gotta do is stitch it, trim it, bevel and burnish those 2 main straps, and then assembly, and then out the door, okay? So use your time wisely. Drying time doesn't necessarily mean that you're losing time. You just got to be a little more productive and efficient using that time. And that's what I do. That's why I do the gluing first. All right, this is ready to place. There's always something to do in the shop. So while things are drying and curing, you can go ahead and bevel, burnish, pre-cut out, glue something else if you have 2 projects. I typically work on 1 project at a time, so I can devote the undivided attention to this project. So I just want to make sure that there is no glue on top. It'll out. Now I just want to make sure there's no glue on top. And we can set it over there. We'll do a little outro. Actually, let me show you. Actually, we'll leave it over there. Who cares? Let me show you. Let me take the camera off and show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is glued. And that's it for this part. I don't know what part this is, 3 or 4, I don't know. But this is part 3. I have no idea, y'all. But that's it for this part. Thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and actually film the other part. I don't know what part 3, well, I don't know what it is. But yeah, see you in the next one, bye.